Oh, hey. We're just heading like an hour and a half out of town to go check out an estate sale that should have some cool stuff at it, hopefully. So we'll see once we get there. I forgot to say before we left that we headed down to Roscoe, which is in Illinois. I don't think we've ever been here before, but this one's very reminiscent of an estate sale we went to a couple of years ago because we ended up having to park all the way down the street.
Someone should have left home earlier.
So the first one we went to had tons of stuff, and we ended up pretty much filling the back seat, and Mary Joy and I split up while we were in there, and we would grab stuff. It'd get to be too much, we'd put them outside and set them on a table to hold until we were done. And then when I was checking out, I thought other people were putting stuff up there that I wanted, and it turned out Mary Joy had it. So,
and I thought the same thing of a couple of his baskets.
Yeah, and then we almost left with a basket that was hers that they forgot was ours that we set aside. And while we were checking out, I saw the box. It had like comics and prints and stuff like that in it. And I'm like, oh, who got to those? Where were those at? And it turned out Mary Joy got them. So that was cool. So filled up the trunk too. And as while we were checking out, somebody never showed up for this Ronald McDonald that they had on hold. So she was just like, just take it. And I was like, damn right, we just spent tons of money here. Yeah, she handed it to me because nobody showed up for it, and it was sitting there all day, so she gave it to me, which, you know, that works. That was the thing I was trying to remember. Oh, outside there was this whole there were all of these boxes filled with books outside on the yard, and you couldn't tell if somebody had set them aside, but there were too many for that to be the case. So I was going through it, and there was this older woman going through it too, and she's like, I don't know if these are for sale, but I don't care, I'm going through them, you know. And she was awesome. So I'm like, yeah, I will too, and I guess they'll let us know. She was just a funny grumpy lady, and she even started giving me crap, like going through, and she's and the books were not laid out, so I was just like, I can't get to the books underneath because they're all on top of each other really strange. And she's like, you take the ones from that you looked at and put them in the box that you just looked at, you genius. And I was just like, I can't even get mad because it's brilliant and so simple, and why didn't I think of that? So I'm going through, and she just kept giving me crap the whole time. It was really funny. So, and then finally I was just like, do you write for Don Rickles or something? What's going on with you? It was like she was doing her stand-up act. It turned out she was like an old school buyer who's been doing this for years. Like the people that had the sale grew up and knew her there, and they were talking about that kind of stuff. So that was fun. Okay, that last estate sale was really crazy, but we were in there such a long time that we just barely had time to make it to the second one, the next town over. So I'll update you on what happened in a minute. I guess it was the last day. We caught it at the very tail end. Like I said, we rushed. We went over there. I think, yeah, like that bag right there, which I guess that's still pretty good. But for us, it seems like not very much. And as I was going through the house, I was in one of them, and I'm like, it smells like a pot roast. I'm in the bedroom, and I'm like, why does the bedroom smell like a pot roast? And there was a bathroom in the bedroom, and they had a slow cooker of chili right next to the toilet with a ladle like sitting on the counter there. So that was unexpected. If we got to drive back into town, it's that time of year where it might be dark by the time we get home, which sucks, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll get back soon and we can look at some of this stuff. All right, let's figure this out. Check this out. Chipmunk Punk is an album that was actually put out before the Chipmunk NBC cartoon series. Ooh, that almost slipped. And this is just them doing their version of what punk rock songs are, but it's got like Refugee and You May Be Right and Crazy Little Thing Called Love. So not really punk. Oh, they do Call Me in My Sharona. There you go. The sale had only a couple books left. Like this sale had totally been cleaned out. Even when we were talking to the lady, I'm like, I thought you had a lot more stuff for sale. and she said they did. It all went the day before because it was the last day. We were there at the end of the very last hour, so there wasn't much at all. So 2 books. Headshot of George Jones and Nancy Jones. Don't rock the jukebox. I want to hear George Jones. All right, now on to the one that we were at the longest and spent the most on. They had some toys that were gag gifts. They were like these adult gifts that I remembered when I was growing up, my parents would get or give their friends that were like joke gifts that made it look like they were oddly sexual, but really what they were is like puns. So here's one called the adult pull toy. And truthfully, what do you think it is? Because it's not what you think. It's a bed. And underneath the bed, there's a guy on top of a woman. And there's a string. It's literally a recreation of like a children's toy. There's a string, and when you pull it, this little wheel goes back and forth, making it look like that's the adult pull toy. So you pull this string along the floor, and then it looks like 2 people are humping in the bed. And on top of that, and I remember my parents having this one, it's a drinking game called Pass Out. And essentially, it's like you roll dice, pick up a card, take a drink. This was it. There's the board game. And if the cards are in there, this is what they look like. It was just a social board game for drinking. Noah's Ark like ship thing you put together. I had one of these before. They're kind of interesting. You open it up and it's got the animals and stuff in there, and you got the big ship. Little Dutch clock that's made of tin. Mickey's popcorn popper. Schlitz flashlight. No battery. Mouse radio. Transistor radio there with a mouse speaker. I think its mouth moves when the talking's on. Ernie in a tub radio. Transistor radio. Speaker underneath. Mickey Mouse radio. Got the head and the speaker in the back. Tune that in. Mickey Mouse Bank. Sunkissed radio. Looks like a can of Sunkissed, but it's a radio. Like you can sneak it into school and go, I'm drinking soda. Oh, you can't have soda in school. All right, next card. And that's this one. G.I. Joe lunchbox, Real American Hero. Plastic lunchbox, metal hook. Marty Martian. Not sure what that is yet, but I want to say it's a food mascot. Poppin' Fresh, the Doughboy, Pillsbury Doughboy. Hoo-hoo. This is one of these dolls that it's by Play School, and it teaches you how to undo buttons, and then there's other types of buttons, and then there's a zipper, like it's to help you learn how to dress yourself, I think. Snaps on or you tie the shoes as well. Garfield in his robe. Linus. Wonder if he's supposed to have a blanket. A very off-brand version of the Hamburglar. I don't think I've ever seen that version of the Hamburglar before. He's got like buck teeth and it looks like he can say more than robble robble. It's got Hamburglar on the back representing. Goofy. No, you're Goofy. No, you're Goofy. A yuck. I vaguely remember this one. It was like a game, but it was a bank. And this one's still in the box, but you would put it in there and you put the money in and you can hit the money as it goes through. And it's got the slot in the back. It's missing the stopper though, but still pretty neat. So it's called This Game is a Bank. Sigmund and the Sea Serpent board game. I looked, I think it has all the pieces. There's the board game down at the bottom. That's the clubhouse that they hide Sigmund the Sea Serpent in, if you've ever seen the TV show. There's the bad monsters that Sigmund's trying to get away from. Miss Piggy mug. Miss Piggy car. Here's some of the stuff that Mary Joy found that was in that basket that Mary Joy had up there that I thought somebody else got. So we got a coloring book. The story of Ralph Tyler Smith. I think he was a senator. It's got a bunch of cool pencil sketches in it. What senator had a coloring book made about him? What year is this from? Doesn't say. That is bizarre. Hamburger helper statue. I think he has the same voice as the Pillsbury Doughboy, because I wanted to go, hoo-hoo. Some metal football wall statue thingy metal things. Some 4-color comics, like some Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and romance comics, and Casper. And then one of the last things that I took a look at was there were a bunch of records downstairs, and I was like, maybe I'll go through them, maybe I won't, I don't know. And it turned out to have a lot of children's pop culture, like sing-along records. It was right up my alley. So a couple of 45s, like a Romper Room 45 of songs from Romper Room, Music Magic Moppets, and then Aunt Teresa, Please Tell Me a Story. Stories adapted and produced by Jim Grant. I don't know why that's significant. Bert and Ernie Sing-Along, Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Pigs, Sleigh Ride Jingle Bells, Superman original radio broadcasts, and then to go along with the Chipmunks punk album, we have Chipmunk Urban Cowboy, or Urban Chipmunk. You know what I mean. This one, I believe, was done around the time that they had their animated show on Saturday mornings. Bozo and His Pals, Sesame Street Book and Record, and that's with the first Gordon. It has this really bizarre picture of Ernie with Rubber Ducky in the tub. Look how skinny Ernie's arms are. That's weird. Oh, sweet, it has a poster inside. Wow. It's a Sesame Street poster called Parts of the Body with Big Bird. Nice. I didn't even know that was in there. What time is it on Sesame Street? Time to get a new clock. Barbie exercise album, looking good and feeling great. Barbie, pew. Then you got the Kens on the back doing their calisthenics. Johnny Paycheck's greatest hits, Take This Job and Shove It. And the other songs. Mickey Mouse Disco, because when I think disco, I think Mickey Mouse. Songs They Censored in the Hills. Baby Snooks and Daddy record. Richard Pryor, Wanted, live in concert. This is a double album, I believe. Yes, it is. Boom! Mox Nick's GI. The best of what's his name? What is his name? Jack Parr. An album of the Flip Wilson Show. That's weird. So like they took, with special guest David Frost. So it's literally an episode of the Flip Wilson Show that they put on a record. Liza Minnelli, live at Carnegie Hall. I believe this is an Andy Warhol painting. That also is a double album. Bozo's Christmas Sing-Along. Cool artwork on the back. Peter Cottontail, Hopping Down the Bunny Trail. Hippity, hoppity, Easter's on its way. Mickey and the Beanstalk. Then the rest of it is books that I got while I was out talking to that lady that I told you about that was giving me crap the whole time, which was kind of funny. So I got a Happy Days book, which is Fonzie Superstar. That's literally the name of the book. I'm not just saying that. So it's no pictures, no fan pictures. The only picture is literally just this big picture of Fonzie, and then the back. The rest of it's just like an episode of the show. Gunsmoke book. Again, no drawings, just story. A copy of Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek movie. A Richard Scarry book that's in German, I believe. I haven't looked it up yet, but it seems like it's German. Yeah, I think it is. It's all, but it's, so it's, everything in here is in German. An Al Jaffe Mad magazine. A Helen E. Hawkinson cartoon book. So like one panel cartoons in this kind of style. And a Star Wars Star Trek crossover book. The 21st Century Christmas, or Christians. Discover the Secret of the Force. Whoa, wait a minute. This is not what I thought it was at all. This is a book trying to show the logic of different characters from Star Wars and Star Trek and how it relates to the Bible. It looks like it's trying to show lines from Star Wars and Star Trek and comparable versions of them in the Bible, I think. Wow, I had no idea. I thought this was just like some crossover fan fiction that, I don't know if people did fan fiction back then, so I don't know why it was. I just saw Star Wars, Star Trek, grabbed it. That's weird. I'm gonna have to look that one up. So that's what we did today. It's getting dark out.